Morning. I thought I'd pop on today. It's another Monday. Of course, we have them every week. I've been fiddling with my website this weekend and I got to thinking about how we fiddle with things when they're right, and then suddenly we think, well, may not be right, so we fiddle again. I am the world's worst fiddler when it comes to things. Morning, Charlotte. Morning, Manby. I fiddle with my website so often, thinking this tweak here, this tweak there, that'll just make it perfect. And then I end up with this cluttered website when I talk about clarity all the time. And it happens when we speak as well. We find we want to tell everybody everything. For me, it's I want to put everything on the website, and I have to really, really rein myself in and discipline myself not to do it and to keep it simple so people get the message, because the website is for other people. It's not for me. Good morning, Alexa. It's not for me. It's for other people. And when you speak, it's the same thing. And I can work with people on their business message and they get it perfect. They get it, they do it, they have this lovely, clear message. And then as time goes on, it's almost like it becomes too easy and too simple. So we want to pop more stuff into that business message. And if you pop too much stuff into your business message, a bit like me popping far too much stuff into my website, it again becomes unclear. Think about those times when you go shopping or you're out and about shopping and you pass one of those windows that have like a million notices in the windows, or all sorts of things. You may stop once or twice to sort of have a look and see if there's anything on there that's of use to you. Promise you, I can almost guarantee it. Second, third, fourth time you walk past, you don't even glance at that window. It's too much effort to go looking for everything that may be of use to you. And that's a lesson I have to learn, really do, with my website. Really having to go in and edit it down and go, do people need to know this at this stage? Is this of use to people? How can I make it simpler? How can I make it easy to navigate? And when you're speaking about your business, whether it's your elevator pitch or you're doing an hour keynote speech at a conference, whatever it may be, you need to really consider and edit it down and go, do people get this? Are they going to understand what I'm saying to them? And are they going to understand how it's going to help them? And do they understand what happens next? Because just like that window, if there's too many messages in that speech, people start glazing over. And what happens at networking is we do the same thing month after month after month, or however long you go networking. And some people you may meet at 2 or 3 other networking groups, because for some people, they really network like mad. And so you're repeating this message to people over and over again, and they're not hearing it. And because you think they're not hearing it, you sort of try to shove some stuff in there that will just shore it up a bit, it'll just, there you go, it's a bit cleverer now, it's a bit different, until eventually you actually waters down that message so much nobody's getting it again. So it takes a certain amount of bravery to stick to that really simple message and remember that a message has a journey. So let me explain about the message journey. It's a bit like the speaker's journey. We all start with 60 seconds. Most people will go networking and start with their 60 second. And you have to really get what you do in that 60 seconds. And that's not an easy thing to do. But if you can do that and get it really, really clear, not only does it do good for the people listening to you, it's good for you. Because then you have your business message really, really clear in your head. You understand it in your head. So then the message goes on to the next bit of the journey, which is sort of a 10 to 15 minute presentation that you can do at networking. They'll often offer that slot to their members, and you can do a bigger presentation. So now your message, and you've got it core in the middle like that, and then you start to almost like the outer ring. Okay, so that's my key message. what other bits can I add in now, because I've got longer time, that are relevant? And you still have to consider, is this useful information for the people listening to me? And in fact, the longer a speech goes on, the less likely you are to hold everybody's attention, because we live in a world where we don't retain a lot of information anymore. You know, we're very impatient, and you know, we don't listen for very long anymore, and everything has to be visual and things like that. So consider that the longer your message gets. So you've done your 10 to 15 and you're patting yourself on the back now. It's pretty good. You know, people are understanding and they're interested and they're asking questions. And yeah, that's good. I'm going to go and try that. Another few meetings. And you think people aren't listening. So you add some more stuff in that isn't necessarily relevant. And then the message jumps to some networking, or you may go to a different group, or you might be asked to go and do a workshop or a development session. So this could be 30 minutes to 45-minute presentation stroke workshop, however you want to do that. So now your message has to have some lessons in it. So you've still got your core message, but now, as well as these little extra bits around the outside that people need, not that you want to give them, the bits people need, then you have to sort of put some learning around it so people can take something away with them. So you've got your little core message there, then you've got a little bit going out there, and now you've got these little spokes going off of, okay, what bit of learning can I give them now to enlarge that, to make them understand how this works, something they can take away with them, because they then want to come and work with me. So the message now is fluffing out a bit, but it's not fluffing out with irrelevant information or stuff people don't need to know at this stage. What they want to know is, how does this work? Okay, right. Oh, that's great. Take that away with them. Now, after that, you're talking about the message then becoming a part of you. This is where you start adding your story into it. But why you? Why do you do what you do? So you've got your core, you've got your little bit around the outside, just a few bits extra in. Then you've got the circle where you put some learning in there. Now you've got this circle. Now this thing's turning almost into a signature speech. It's becoming your story. And this is about why you came to do what you do, something about you that is relevant to your message. So I might talk about, you know, as a kid, as a middle child, I didn't really ever get my voice out there very much. You know, I was bullied at school. We've all been through various things. And this is when you start adding your story in. Now, word of warning. Your story doesn't have to be a traumatic story. Some people have quite traumatic backgrounds, and this is a lot of why they do what they do. For other people, it might be an illness that has made them do what they do. For some people, it may simply be that they do what they do because they wanted to spend more time at home, spend more time with their children, whatever that may be. But there is always a why you do what you do, and why you want to help other people do the same thing. And the thing to remember here is, people love stories. First and foremost, we are DNA'd to stories. If you stand in a room with the right voice and go, once upon a time, everybody will switch round and start listening. It's why we tell stories to children. It's how we have passed on information since the beginning of time. So putting a bit of your story into it, it becomes personal. It becomes a part of you. And what people are looking for is can I get from A to B? Can you take me from the problem to the solution? Can you help me be that person at the end of the journey like you are now? That's what people are looking for. So your story reinforces that ability you have to get people from A to B. That's the important thing. So for me, if I'm talking to people and I start talking about my story, and some people have heard my signature speech, the story, but it is about, the shy girl who was told all sorts of things and didn't really get a chance to speak, and whose sister, pretty normal stuff, really. A few traumatic things in. For me, they were traumatic. So I use that to reinforce that you can go from being scared and having nothing to say to being able to stand on a stage and speak about your business and grow your business. So that's what people are looking for. They want to take that journey with you. I do love it when those little things come up. They're so sweet. Thank you. So that's what people are looking for. Now, again, when you get to that level with your message, you don't want to put the pain of your past into that message. And that is vital. We don't want to share people's pain. We want to empathize. We want to be inspired by them. We want to love them. We don't want to share their pain. And equally, you should not be going into your pain to communicate it to other people. Because if you are, one, you're not over it. And two, you're taking away from the message. Because then it becomes about you and not the message you have to say, not the recovery bit, not the journey. So it's really important to understand. So when you're thinking about your message, and when I think about my messy, cluttered website, which I'm going to go and edit in a minute, I want you to really consider, don't feel that your message is so simple that you've got to pad it out a bit. You don't. You really don't. The simpler it is, the better the job you have done. Really is, the better the job you have done. So you've got that, and that's your core. That's what you want to be knighted for at the end of your life, sainthood. That purpose you have to do whatever it is you do for people. Then you add a little bit more in when you're going up to your 15 minutes or so. Then when you're going up to development or workshops or presentations for about 30 minutes or more, you're adding in some learning. You're giving them something that they can take away, something they can do, something they can try. And then you're adding in your story, the why you and how you get people made to be. So that is my message for you today. Consider your message, go back to it, and if need be, edit it down a bit. Because I know we all want to sound clever. We women are rubbish at being able to just hold our heads up and go, no, I'm really good at that. I know exactly what I do and I'm good at it. We try to validate, and we've all done it. I have done it before now. But actually, people just want to understand. They are never going to say to you, I haven't got a clue what you do. I do. I can't upset a lot of people because I'll do it. But people will nod and smile, but they won't necessarily ever say to you, I just don't understand it. They'll just go and work with someone else. So really keep it simple. Make sure a 10-year-old can understand it. If you're on a one-to-one with people, it's completely different. One-to-ones, you can ask questions, you can chat, you get into a conversation. It's completely different. But in order to use your voice and your message to get people to work with you, keep it as simple as possible. So I hope that's helped today. Any questions anybody wants to pop in the chat box before I disappear and fart ass about with my website again? Do shout. If not, you know where I am. You can put a comment underneath this and I will do my best to answer it. Okay, have a great week and get out there, and today make a choice to do something different. All right, people, lovely to talk to you. Bye.